Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all to my channel. Today we are going to learn an English chapter of class 10. The name of the chapter is Louis Pasteur, Conqueror of Disease, written by E.H. Carter. Students, we have already read first part of this chapter in my previous video. So today we are going to learn the second half, that is part 2. But students, before that, if you are viewing my video for the first time, do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of my upcoming videos, and do watch the video till end. And if you like it, hit the like button and do comment it. And students will also find 9th standard English explanation in my channel. You can go to the playlist, have a look, and inform your friends too. So quickly, let's have a look about the author. We already have seen it. Herbert Edmund Carter, he was an American biochemist and an educator. He grew up in central Indiana and received bachelor's degree from DePaul University. He also received PhD in 1934 in organic chemistry from the University of Illinois. So this is about the author students. We had already seen about the Pasteur's early working lifestyle, how he worked with great enthusiasm. So let us proceed on. So we find here that Pasteur, he founded a branch of science, bacteriology. The whole branch of science was founded by him, and that branch was known as bacteriology. It was the study of bacteria, and he showed that what a wide range it had been studying. Means it was a vast field to study about bacteria with different sorts of different activities. Then for 3 whole years, he spent all his time and energy in tracking down the causes of disease. He just was working hard to find out what are the causes of the disease which was ruining the silkworm industry during those times. These industries had contacted this pasture to find out the reason behind it being spoiled, and this is what he was very busy, and he just spent his 3 years finding the cause behind it. And he began to believe that most, if not all, infectious disease were due to the certain bacteria which somehow got into the blood, it multiplied there, and it caused the disease. And this is how it was infecting and ruining all the industries. So this was the conclusion which he came through. Then many other men who were also working and experimenting against those bacteria, and which were the enemies of man, the bacteria which were the enemies of man, which were invisible, but they were present everywhere because we cannot see the bacteria from our naked eyes. So it is called as the enemies of man, which were invisible, but they were present everywhere and they were always ready to attack. Once the bacteria come in contact with your blood and it multiplies, you are just seriously diseased. Dr. Jenner in England had already discovered vaccination for smallpox, but inoculation against other disease had not yet started. Means he had discovered the vaccination, the medicine against smallpox, but the inoculation, the vaccination, the giving of that medicine was still not started to the other disease. So it was still waiting. Then Pasteur was trying to discover a cure for a terrible disease called anthrax. So this was the problem, and he was trying to find a solution for which men sometimes get infected from shaving brushes, and which was attacking the cows and sheep in France and killing them off very quickly. And this disease is known as anthrax, and he was trying to find out the solution and the reason behind it. He found out first of all that cow could not have anthrax twice. It can occur only once. This was the conclusion first he came to. Then he began to wonder whether it would not be possible to make a cow and even a man just a little with anthrax so that they might not get it again. Because he came up to a conclusion that any person or animal, if it comes in contact with anthrax disease, it cannot happen him twice. So why not shall I give him weak germs and make him a little bit ill with that anthrax so that he is not getting that disease in a large manner. So perhaps this could be done by giving to cows or sheep, which like by giving them very weak old germs injected in their body to make them or to save to make them safe or immune for future. Because if they are getting the weak old germs now in their body and they are having weak and little bit of anthrax, it will be safe for the future because it may not attack in a larger manner. This was the reason or theory behind it, what he had found out. So one can imagine how dangerous it can be to give the germs to the people in those days. And many scientists were against it. They were very angry about it. But somehow they agreed to allow Pasteur to prove this, to do the public experiment. So with a great heart and such difficulty and such a great challenge, he did this experiment. So Pastor collected some sheep, goats, and cows, and then he divided into two lots. What he did was, to one lot he gave the injection of weak anthrax germs, and the other lot was left like that without giving anything. And after some days, certain days, the animals which were injected with the most deadly anthrax germs, with a little amount of the germs that could be produced, and when they were just alive and perfectly all well on the third day of experiment, and the lot which was not given the weak jumps, which was left like that, they all started to die. Many of them had died, and just two of the animals were left out there, which who were about to die. And this all was a public experiment, and the whole crowd of the people had gathered there around the shed, and they were watching it. They were just observing what has happened, what is happening, what is the result. So the lot which had got previously the old germs in the body were absolutely perfect without any disease, whereas the other lot which did not had any vaccination or did not had got any germs in the body were dead. Most of them were dead. Just two of them were there which were about to die. So this by this taking such a big step, Pastor proved that what he was saying was correct. And though he would have felt very nervous because it was a public experiment and for the first time and it was very dangerous, but he was successful in it. Then the news spread that the pastor had discovered a cure for anthrax. Then hundreds of people started writing to him for supplying the vaccine or the weak germs. And he had to turn his small laboratory into a kind of small germ factory then. Then for this Pasteur also received many honors from French government, and then in 1881 he became a big medical congress in London. He also walked the hall and where the people applauded him, welcomed him. He looked around, but think he thought that the cheers may be for some other royal person, some very VIP person, because Pasteur could hardly believe that that applause and that honor was meant for him. He was such a simple person. Then one of his last experiments was in connection with the terrible disease which attacked a person who was bitten by a dog with rabies, usually whom we called as a mad dog. And Pasteur had grown very sure about the power of inoculation. Now he was having the idea of inoculation because he has proved it. And he has decided to try out the same idea in the case of rabies also. So at that time, nearly everyone died who was bitten by the diseased dog. If any mad dog, yeah, or you can say a dog with who had the rabies, if it bit the man or any person, they would ultimately die. There was no cure for it. But in 1885, Pasteur made his first experiment on a young Alsatian boy who came to him in Paris who was covered with bites from the mad dog. And the boy's mother told Pasteur that if you can cure animals, you can cure my son too. So Pasteur inoculated him with some weak rabies germs, and the boy recovered. So this is how he got the medicine again. Although Dr. Jenner, who had already discovered how to vaccinate against smallpox, he did not understand about bacteria in detail. Pasteur, after giving his life to the study, he was able to prove that the value of inoculation, that is, value of vaccination, to find out ways of wearing it of different disease. To find out ways of wearing it had different ways for the different disease, how to give inoculation. This was again founded by Pasteur because during his study he got all these solutions. Then during First World War, the troops, the army members who were going abroad, they were first inoculated, means vaccinated. They were given the vaccination against some of the diseases like typhoid and enteric fever. And because if they are once going out for the war, the troops are living out, they should not fall ill or they should not get this disease. So in uh, In advance, they were given this inoculation, this vaccination against typhoid and enteric fever was given to them, and this helped them to control the death rate. The death rate was very low because of illness among the troops. And even in unhealthy places, they did not get these diseases. And this became a great tribute to Pasteur's work. Then Pasteur's memory is still honored in the Institut Pasteur in Paris, where bacteriology is studied by many men of all the nations. And at the opening of the institute in 1888, Pasteur said, two opposing laws seems to me now in contest. He said that there are two laws which are opposite to each other and which are in contest, which are in competition against each other. And he said that one of it is a law of blood and death, which is open out each day. People are standing with the methods of destruction, forces nation to be always ready for the battle. This is one law, he said, which is always wanting for blood and death, always ready for destruction, always ready for war, for battle. And he said, against it, there is one more law opposite to it, and that is the law of peace, work, and health. And they just aim to deliver man from the disasters which is surrounded him. So one is the battle and the war, and the other against it, who's competing to it, is the law of peace, whose only aim is to give man the good surrounding. They want to give them a complete and a calm and a healthy surrounding, a peaceful surrounding. So these two laws are standing against themselves. They are in contest. And then again, he says ahead that one is seeking violent conquest, one is having very violent methods, and the other is the relieving of mankind. So both are opposite ways, and both are competing each other. And he says which of these two laws will prevail, God only knows. Means which is going to be alive or going to move in the future, God only knows which law is going to exist further. And then he says, but science, I know it's obeying the law of humanity, which will always labor to enlarge the frontiers of life. Science will always help the people to go beyond the boundary of their life, to ensure that life is good and it will spread its life till the last. So he wanted to say that science is obeying the law of humanity, it is not giving them any negative effects. Then sometimes someone who knew Pasteur well in his old age described that he was he was with deep lines on his face. His physical appearance is being described here by some person who knew Pasteur at that time. The skin and the beard both were white, his hair still thick and nearly always covered with a black cap. Then he had a broad forehead, it was wrinkled, marked with lines of genius. The mouth was slightly drawn by paralysis, but full of kindness, and above all, the living thought which still flashes from the eyes beneath the deep shadow of the eyebrows. This is how he is explaining the pastor's physical appearance during the pastor's old age. Then, on Pasteur's 70th birthday, his jubilee was celebrated, almost like a national festival there. Like Lord Lister, he was honored in his old age by the scientists of all nations. Everybody, all the scientists throughout the nations were honoring him. At the crowded meeting in the great hall of the University of Paris, the old man was too overcome to speak. He had become too weak, he could not speak, he could not give speech, so his speech was read to the distinguished audience there by his son. The future, he said, will belong to those who shall have done the most for suffering humanity. To the young students also he addressed and he gave a special word. He said to the students, the young people over there, the young youths, to first ask yourselves that what have I done for my education? Then he says, that as you know that you are advancing, they are moving ahead in the life. Ask the second question to yourself, what have I done for my country? So that someday that supreme happiness may come to you. You will have that feeling, you will have that question, and you work for it, and you will get the success and you will get that happiness. This is the consciousness of having contributed in some measure to the progress of welfare of humanity. It will help you to become a conscious person, then you will take the steps and you will help in some or the other manner to contribute to the progress and welfare of humanity, and that will give you that happiness. So keep on asking yourself that what have I done for my country? Then Pasteur himself certainly knew that happiness because he had achieved that happiness. He has helped the people, he has helped the suffering and the diseased person there. He has helped the troops over there. So he died in 1895 when he was 75, and in this field of science, no name is honored as much as his and will be longer remembered. So this is how Pasteur's history we have learned here. We got to know about his contributions, his dedication towards the work, his dedication and approach towards the humanitarian welfare. So I hope students you all understood the chapter, and thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, do hit the like button. Thank you.